Well, the Blazers really started a little rough in this one and couldn't hold it together. They tried to come back, but it just was a little, too late. As they fall to the Lakers 110 to 102 in their first game post All-Star break. Welcome into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join the conversation, you can go over to youtube.com, get in on the comment section. Of course, you can tweet at us, Blue Sky at us, whichever one you want to use, at Chris J. Burkhardt and Rip City Radio 620. And as always, 503-248-0620 is that telephone number. Tonight, the Blazers, boy howdy. I mean, right out of the gate, it was just struggle, man. They couldn't hit just anything in that first quarter. It was just brick after brick after brick. At one point, Anthony Simons in the first half, he was 1 of 4 from the free throw line. This is a guy who is a 90% free throw shooter on the season. Going 1 for 4 was kind of a microcosm of what the game was like up to that point. In the first quarter, the Blazers shot 6 of 20 from the floor, just 2 of 9 from beyond the arc. But you know what? You got to give them a little bit of credit because they scored just 15 points, which was the lowest scoring first quarter of the season for the Trailblazers. And then they bounced back 32 in the second, 30 in the third, 25 in the fourth. And they made it a game. They made it a game. They had a chance, and then in the fourth quarter, late things just kind of fell apart. Right, there was a charge on Jeremy Grant, and then he had a late turnover, which is kind of something that feels like it's happened a few times to good old Jeremy Grant. And it wasn't his night overall. He struggled mightily from the floor, hitting just one shot in this one, and it was just not a great night. But you know what? Give some of the young guys some credit. Plenty to work on, plenty to not like, but there were still things to like in this one. If you look at the box score, though, and Coach Billups talked about a post-game, man, they got blasted on the boards, and that was a big reason that the Lakers were able to hold on to the lead and get out to the big lead. In total, they out-rebounded the Blazers 48 to 33. They had 11 offensive boards, 37 defensive boards, and the Blazers had 24 personal fouls to 17 for the Lakers. Ironically, because it doesn't happen that often, the Blazers did have more assists than the Lakers, 27 to 20. But the Lakers, man, it was interesting watching Austin Reeves a little bit in this one because, boy, howdy, with the calls he was getting, you would have thought he was a superstar, like one of the greatest players in the league because he was getting all-star calls. Tumani Kamara, it looked in his general direction and a whistle was coming. I mean, you had the late situation there with the jump ball, Scoot jumping up with Reeves, and Tumani Kamara just gets plowed by LeBron James, no call. And on that same play, Scoot goes over, barely touches Austin Reeves as he tries to get the ball back, and they call a foul on him. It was wild. It was wild. So, interesting game all the way around. And Kobe in the chat, no pun intended, right? No Kobe Bryant. He says, you mean Denny made it a game? And no, I don't mean Denny made it a game because it wasn't just him, man. Tumani Kamara was absolutely phenomenal in this one. I liked what Robert Williams did through spurts. Scoot Henderson had some moments. He struggled shooting. It was more the young guys, though, because the vets who get the start, that was brutal. I mean, you look at this one, Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simons, who were supposed to be two best scorers, right? They ended up going 4 for 25 combined from the floor and just 1 of 11 from beyond the arc. So that is incredible, like in a bad way. Like that's not what you want from your two guys who are supposed to be your best shooters from beyond the arc, and when they go out there and they just struggle like that, you're going to be hard pressed to get into a lot of games. I think that's why I said earlier there's things to like, there's things not to like, and what I do like about this one is that the team was able to claw back, and when you look at the overall performance, who had the best games? Denny, Tumani. Klingon played sparingly. He was a little bit behind defensively, made a couple gaffes, but he still was good when he was in there. Like the young guys were doing what they needed to do, and that's what I love. And then it's unfortunate that the vets who continue to be relied upon made the moves down the stretch that more or less cost them the game. And it wasn't just those moves. Like it wasn't just Jeremy Grant's turnover in the fourth quarter that cost him the game. But you sit there and you're like, man, it's just same nonsense, different day. Now, Denny Avdia did have an incredible game with 28 points to lead the Trailblazers, and I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying, man, him and two together, those two they're great. Those two, no pun intended, they're great. They are absolutely great. Now let's take a look at the Lakers side of things. 32 points from Austin Reeves, 40 points at 40 years old for LeBron James, not to be overshadowed by the fact that he did have 11 turnovers in this one. Not a great performance there. I was getting in a debate during the game with former coworker here at Rip City Radio, Preston Highfield, telling us how LeBron James is the greatest player of all time, and it sucks, but, Michael Jordan is second. I had to point out that Michael Jordan never had double-digit turnovers once in his entire career. LeBron dropped 11 of them tonight, so a nice double-double there. He almost had a triple-double if you count the 8 rebounds that he had, too, but it can't take away the 40-point performance. He absolutely was on a tear when he needed to be. When he needed to be, he's LeBron. That's what we said pregame, right? What makes him so special is when he needs to flip the switch, he absolutely can. And tonight was one of those nights. He and Austin Reeves combined for 72 points. That's crazy. Dorian Finney-Smith had 10 points. Rui Hachimura had 6 points. Jackson Hayes had 9. Gabe Vincent had 7 points, and Trey Jamison had 6 points off of the Lakers bench. On the Blazers side of things, we already talked about Jeremy Grant. Rough night at the office. 1 of 12 from the floor, 1 of 5 from beyond the arc, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He fouled out with 5 seconds left of the game, ended the night with just 3 points. So not a great game from him by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, he almost had more rebounds than points. Toumani Camara, incredible. He was incredible. 19 points. He had 5 steals, career high, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and I finally got LeBron James to commit to an offensive foul in that game because there was a couple trips down where he was just giving him fits and just getting in his body, and LeBron had to push him away because then you could tell on his face he's getting irritated that he wasn't giving him space even off the ball, and that's what makes you love Toumani Camara so much, man. So that was incredible to see from him, and he had an awesome game. Donovan Clingan, 16 minutes. He had 6 points, 6 rebounds, 3 block shots. He was 3 of 4 from the floor. Denny Avdia, as we've talked about here in the chat, 28 points, absolutely incredible. 8 of 10 from the free throw line. He's incredible when it comes to getting to the line. He can live at that free throw line, man, and it's something you need. You need it. How many times have we watched a game where the other team is just completely outpacing the Blazers from the free throw line? Tonight, the Lakers did outpace the Blazers. They had 25 attempts, but the Blazers had 21, and obviously about half of those coming from Denny Avdia. Anthony Simons, 8 points, 7 assists. He was 3 of 13 from the floor. Scoot Henderson, a rough shooting night as well, 4 of 13 for 12 points. Shaedon Sharpe, 4 of 11 for just 11 points. He was a team worst minus 20 and plus-minus. Chris Murray, he did not register a point. 8 points from Robert Williams, 7 points from Delano Banton. And if you, again, it was rough game, and I think really that first quarter kind of did him in. Season low, 15 points, the lowest scoring first quarter of the year for your Portland Trailblazers. And as the chat says, Jake says, hey, DC looked great tonight. And he did. He had some gaffes defensively, which is why Coach Billups went small late, and I understand that one. He also had the 1 turnover, which was just so unfortunate. Gets the rebound under the basket, and then he turns around, and as he turns, the ball just slips out of his hands because sometimes he has bricks for hands, but that's okay. Defensively in the paint, it's where he makes his money, and that's what he's pretty good at tonight. And, yeah, it was just a rough night. When you go out there and Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant have the games that they do tonight at the same time, which we've seen a few times throughout this year, it's hard for the Blazers to win. It's absolutely hard for the Blazers to win. I mean, what are you going to do when the guys who come in, 2 of your top 3 scorers go out there and lay absolute eggs? When they combine for 11 points on 4 of 25 shooting, you're not going to win a lot of ball games. Not at all. And that, I mean, LeBron goes out there, drops 40. Austin Reeves threw in 32 as well. But I was watching this Laker team at some point, just like, man, like some of the guys they're rolling out there, they're a rough team too. But LeBron puts him on his back, goes and gets the win. I did watch Rui Hachimura tonight going, gosh, he would make a fun Blazer. The way his length, the way he moves, the way he can play multiple positions. Not super crazy athletic, but, man, he's a fun player, absolutely. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. Of course, youtube.com. You can get in on the chat there as well. Where Bricks and Joystick says, good running into you tonight. Absolutely it was, man. I always feel awkward when someone yells, Burkhardt, and I turn around and I'm like, I don't know you in my head. Like that, it was totally deer in the headlights look, which I'm sure made you laugh on the inside. But he just looks at me, and he could tell. He could tell the look in my eye was like, am I supposed to know you? this face is not registering, but you obviously know me. And then he just puts his hand out for a handshake. He's like, bricks and joysticks. I'm like, oh, son of a gun. It's always nice to put a face to the guys who are chatting in YouTube all the time. So I appreciate that from you, Bricks. That's all phenomenal. And like I said, I'm going to get into that store. I've talked about it. I got to make a trip down to Corvallis eventually for some OSAA championships. I might get to Corvallis via Albany, get a stop in at the store, find something precious to buy. You got? Hey, I know I got the game. I don't need it. See if there's any Earthbound merch hiding around. I'll look around. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the fifth quarter, though. When we come back, it's time for our shot of the night, the drive of the night. Couple of other elements coming your way. Coach's Corner as well. Game balls. You know the drill around here. Going to continue to break down this loss to Lakers. Talk about the Charlotte game coming up in just 2 nights where you guys get Brendan Slaughter taking over. I'm going to be on a break for the night. I'm going to be down at Tualatin Hills Aquatic Center doing some OSAA championships. So calling to the bullpen, which is pretty awesome. That's the last home game for the Blazers. Go on a nasty 7-game road trip, and we'll talk about that too when we return right here on the fifth quarter on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Phil says Grant, Simons, and Sharp look like they had a few drinks before the game. My eyes hurt watching those 3 tonight. It's unfortunate, Phil. It's unfortunate because you want Shea to be so good, and Shea needs to be better than 11 points. Like, I think for the team to turn the corner with the roster of young guys that they have, you need him to be like a 25 point per game scorer. Like, you need that guy. They don't have that guy. Say you take away Anthony Simons, right? Right now. We're not even going to trade. They're just going to leave the roster for this hypothetical. You take Anthony Simons out, you take Jeremy Grant out, right? Denny Avdia, he can get there. He can get there. He's not a consistent 25 a night a scorer, right? He gets you points. But they just don't have that guy. They don't have that guy. And honestly, right now with Jeremy and Ant, they don't have that guy either. They need that guy they need the guy like LeBron who went out there and just dropped 40 like casually, or Reeves who goes out there and just drops 32 without even paying attention. They don't have that guy. They don't have that guy right now, and it's tough to get anywhere without it. So whether that's via this trade market, free agency, which they're not going to have a ton of money to deal with, right, or the draft, like, they need to find that guy. And I'm still hoping that Shaedon turns into that guy. You want Shea to be that guy. He's shown flashes. I want him to be more aggressive, like what I saw tonight from LeBron. And yes, LeBron is like a one of one. He's one of the greatest of all time. But how often did you watch him just use his athleticism and run to the basket with aggression, right? With reckless abandon, as they say. And Shea is just, to me, is taking too many 3-point shots and not using that athleticism to get to the rim, which I want to see more of. So that's frustrating. And then, as you said, it's lethargic from your top 3 guys in Ant and Simons to go, like I said, 4 of 25. It's brutal, man. That's brutal. What else we got? Kobe says, why did it feel like Denny came on in the fourth and then hardly shot the ball? It happens all the time whenever he's rolling. I feel like he always has to come. You know what? That's an interesting point. It's an interesting point because I also thought it was weird that late in that game, in crunch time, Coach always talks about going to the hot hand, but they went to Jeremy. Like, why are we going to Jeremy so often when he's had such a terrible night? And late in that game, you went right to him. What did he do? He turned the ball over. In that fourth quarter, as you mentioned, Kobe, Denny played 7 minutes. He took 2 shots. Scoot took 3 in the fourth quarter. Tumani took 3. Anthony Simons took 8. Jeremy Grant took 3. All those guys took more shots than Denny Avdia, who was the best player on the court for the Blazers tonight. So, yeah, that's a little bit weird, not running through him a little bit more. But anyway, it's a good comment. Thanks for making me look that up. But we'll take a quick little break here. We'll be back on radio here in just a few minutes. back. And there was times where, quite honestly, they had a chance to win it late. It just didn't come to be. And just a night where the Blazers struggle in that first quarter, and it just kind of did them in. It was too much to come out of. And the hole itself, like, wasn't even that big, right? Like, you can look at the score and say, okay, well, they were down 28-15. It was, that's definitely scoring distance, striking distance in the NBA, right? But it was just the way that happened, because we talked about early in the pregame show about the Lakers. Like, you can't get LeBron James rolling. He's like a snowball going downhill. He's going to gather snow. He's going to gather momentum. It's an avalanche, right? And he did in this one, because when he got going, he didn't stop. But the Blazers never got going. That whole first quarter was like, tires spinning in the mud. And you're never getting any traction. And so when they finally did get a little bit of traction, that just wasn't enough. Nothing was firing right. And they tried to claw back, and as some of the people on social and in the chat have pointed out, like, Denny Avdia did an incredible job trying to put the team on his back and get going. And they had a chance. I mean, there's 10 minutes left, 10 minutes, 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It is tied 81-81. Blazers are right there. And then the Lakers just, boom, quick 8-0 run, and they're up by 8. Blazers don't get close the rest of the way. And so it's just unfortunate that is the way that went down. The Blazers could have used the win, but Team Tank's probably happy, right? They like when you lose a game and you get better odds of Cooper Flag, but that's probably not going to happen now. I mean, we broke down some of the numbers in the pregame show. I mean, we can look at them again right now. It's like the Blazers' chances of getting back into an incredible, air quotes, incredible spot in the draft lottery are going to be rough. The Blazers currently at the 9th worst record in the league. They have a one-game disadvantage, if you will, against Chicago, who's sitting there at 8. And then you start to look at the numbers. They're not catching Washington, obviously. They're sitting there 13 games back. They're not going to lose 13 more games than the Wizards down the stretch. New Orleans is just 3.5 back of Washington. Utah's 4. Charlotte's 5. Toronto's 7.5. And then you get Philadelphia there at 6, 10.5 back. So the Blazers are 2.5 back of the 6th spot. Now that feels achievable with the way the rest of the year can go. But also you got San Antonio, who is certainly currently 2.5 behind the Blazers in 10th, but they got Wembanyama out for the rest of the year now, so you don't know what they're going to do. So now the Blazers are sitting there 7, 8, 9 range, and realistically, like, getting up to 5 might be doable, but it's going to take a lot of losses to get there. That's why, I mean, at this point, just put your best foot forward and see what happens. But if today was your best foot, you're going to take a lot of losses by the time it's all said and done. You got to figure that one out. You got to figure out a way to come out of the gate firing. I mean, Coach Billups talked about it after the game again. Focus was the word. And we hadn't heard that for a while. We didn't hear that. We did not hear the F word during that 9 games in 10-game stretch, right? 9 wins in the last 10 games, the hottest team in the NBA. We didn't hear the F word. Early in the year, we heard the F word. Focus. Focus. Lack thereof. It's only a matter of time. I mean, if on Saturday you're listening to the 5th quarter with Brendan and you get to the coach's quarter and I didn't like the spirit, right? Oh, we heard that one before too. So that one has continued to frustrate me all year long. All year long it frustrates me. Because the focus part of the game is on one person, and that's coach. That's your job. Get them focused. Get them right in the all on the same page, right? Get everybody in line. Get them focused. F word. I don't like it, but it's the F word. And they lacked focus again tonight. That's why coach said, he didn't like Donovan's focus defensively. That's why he didn't play him a lot late. That's why he went small. And so you got to figure that one out. You got to get locked in. Okay, for Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simons, I could think of 25, 30 million reasons to be locked in. You know what I'm saying? Denny looked locked in. 2 looked locked in. Like, I need to find the way for this team to bottle up the aggression that Tumani Kamara shows every single game. Right? Bottle that up and just distribute it to everybody. He does not want to be pushed around. He does not want to let anybody beat him. If it happens, it happens. But he's going to make sure he is there guarding you. Right? Like I said, tonight he was in LeBron James's grill all night long, and you could tell that he was starting to frustrate old LBJ a little bit. It was working. It was working. He was all over the place. I mean, he started off on Reeves. You saw him on. I mean, he was guarding all five all night long, switching like crazy, locked in, ready to roll. He was focused. How do you bottle that up and get everyone else to do that too? Because that's the tough part. When it feels like certain players on the roster are just going through the motions, you know, it can get annoying. Like Shaedon Sharpe, we've talked about this. I need Shaedon Sharpe to understand that he can be the baddest man in the gym. Be the baddest man in the gym and play like it. Bring out your inner a-hole. Like, do it. Do it. It's like kind of like the whole saying, like, nice guys finish last. Yeah, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, like, no, sometimes you just got to be a jerk out there. I want to see Shaedon Sharpe just dominate, not just pulling up and taking threes. Like, that's the frustrating part about his game sometimes. We talked about this, but, like, you see LeBron just being a tank. He gets the ball, he sees rim, go to rim. Like that, he's like T1000, right? And the objective is popping up in his vision, the red vision, and it is just saying see rim, attack rim. That's what he's doing. He wasn't going to be stopped. Full speed, half speed, slow speed, didn't matter. That was the objective, and he was getting to the rim so easily because of it. I want to see Shaedon Sharpe do that. He doesn't attack for as athletic as he is and as high as he jumps out of the gym, he does not attack the rim enough. Settles for those three-pointers. The three-point shot's cool and all, but attack the rim. Not just on the fast break where you can go catch a lob. Attack the rim. His handles need to improve. We know that. But still, I want to see him be more aggressive. Like, if you could bottle up Tumani's aggressiveness on both sides of the ball and just disperse it to the team, you have a lot of guys turning the corner a little bit. But on a night like tonight, it was just rough. It was rough. It was the R word tonight. Rough. Again, Jeremy Grant, Anthony Simons, 4 of 25 from the floor for just 11 points. Denny was great. Tumani was great. Scoot and Shea were not bad. And they weren't great, but they weren't bad. Jeremy and Anthony were kind of bad tonight. They were kind of bad tonight. Frustrating. But the Blazers had a chance to get back onto it on Saturday. Another chance to get a win as they take on Charlotte, and we'll see what happens there. I mean, this is the team they did beat on the road earlier. So this is a Charlotte team that did just beat the Lakers last night. So you never know what you're going to get in the NBA, right? You just absolutely never know. So the Blazers can't come through. They can't walk through it. They can't do what coaches talked about before about, walking into a gym and, thinking that you got to win just in hand because you showed up. Like, you can't act like that, or you're going to get handled. It's just the unfortunate part about how this season plays out is that, again, you go from being the hottest team in the league to being a loser of 4 straight. And that's unfortunate, right? So hopefully the next few games offer an opportunity for a team. We want to see this team win games to grab a couple, right? You can get a win against Charlotte, Utah, Washington, Brooklyn. Those are winnable games. But then you go, you got Cleveland, you got Boston, Oklahoma City. Like this road trip here. Utah, Washington, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Philly, Boston, OKC. There's winnable games there. And then you still got games on the road at Golden State. You got home against New York. You got Memphis, Denver, Boston, Cleveland at home coming up on the schedule. You still got another big road trip at the end of the year. It goes Sacramento, New York, Atlanta, Toronto, Chicago. There's still a lot of games to be played and a lot of rough nights. But there's some winnable games in there. And, again, it all starts with focus. And I've said this before to you guys. That does not mean focus at tip-off. That means focus from the minute you wake up. Games are not won from tip-off to the final buzzer. Games are won in preparation that happens throughout the week and throughout the day. And you got to get this team focused. You just have to. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the 5th quarter. When we come back, we're going to head to the coach's corner, hear what Coach Billups had to say after this game. Going to hand out a game ball, and then we're going to get out of here. We're going to get out of here. Hopefully I see 19,000 of you at Tualatin Hills Aquatic Center tomorrow and Saturday for high school swimming state championships. It's going to be a blast down there. Those kids are going to be focused. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that. All right, we're going to take a break, though. This is the fifth quarter presented by Coors Light on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
I didn't think our focus was great. I thought we were really rusty. in that first half. I mean, shoot, we couldn't make a free throw, couldn't make a late. I mean, we were really rusty there. But I came in at halftime saying, we could have done much worse than that in terms of just our focus, and we're in good shape. We all right. We're in good shape, but we got to play better. We got a rebound. We was getting crushed on the glass at the half. We got crushed on the glass the whole game. That's kind of been our Achilles heel, and then, shoot, you couldn't make, some of our better scorers just couldn't make shots. That hurt us. So we had a lot working against us, but I thought we played hard. We gave ourselves a chance. We scrapped our butt off. Just didn't have enough, man. Just didn't have enough.
Do you think the rebounding, particularly defensive rebounding, is an effort thing, or is it a technique thing? Beside that?
No, I think it's an attention to detail thing. And you have to fight your instincts a lot of times, because, anybody that's played basketball knows rebounding is like something that's either in you or it's not, and when it's not, you have to be intentional about, okay, when that ball goes up, I know there's going to be a collision somewhere. I need to be ready to make that collision, especially against teams that are crashing, like this team did. They just crushed us all the way around. I mean, even for us, we only have 6 offensive rebounds. That's not really like us. But yeah, it's an attention to detail thing. It's not about who's taller or the size, that size thing. That doesn't matter, You got to be willing to go get in that fight, man. And that's what rebounding is to me. And so we just got to do a better job of it, because when we get beat like this on the glass, we're going to have to really be making shots to win a game.
Is that where you kind of really feel the absence of D.A.?
Yeah, I mean, D.A.'s really, obviously a really good rebounder, but so is Donovan, and you depend on Rob to do that too. So it's not like we're missing D.A. and we don't have other centers. We do. So there's no excuse, really. We just got to do a better job of it.
To that end, how would you evaluate Donovan's performance?
I thought he was okay. I thought he had some good moments in the game, and again, I thought he lost his focus on some of the things that we wanted to do defensively. He was 1 or 2 steps slow, which is why I decided to just kind of go small and just change it up. He like all the rest of us, were a step slow on a lot of things, defensively today.
Regarding Jeremy and just missing shots, or did they maybe lack some focus too, or how would you characterize them?
I just thought they missed shots. Jeremy has some incredible looks, the looks that he usually has, and he just kind of missed them. And then, we had some layups on the break. I mean, we turned it over like 5 times in transition. We did such a good job of turning these guys over. And then so many times our spacing is poor. They got 3 guys in particular that are really good charge takers. We see them right there the whole time, 3 dribbles, and we just still run right into them. That's just focus. That's just focus and knowing your personnel. We did that twice. So, I thought Jeremy got good looks. Thought Ant ended up getting some good looks. I just thought as a group, we had a really bad start. I thought our starters got us off to a really tough start. And from there, they was just kind of reeling a little bit. We couldn't really get organized, and that hurt us.
What did you think of the play of both Denny and Tamani in the second half? Particularly Denny in the third quarter. It really seemed like he got you back in the game.
Yeah, and he gave us a huge lift there in that third quarter, which was a really good quarter for us. Getting downhill, he made some shots for us. I thought earlier he was forcing. He was really forcing it, kind of overdoing it and over-penetrating and playing in the crowd. We turned it over. Finally, he calmed down, and played a lot better. I thought Tumani as well. I thought he got a little tentative when he picked up the 2 fouls. And then once he the game kind of went on. He wasn't in foul trouble anymore. He kind of got more aggressive, and he picked it up a lot more.
And there you hear from Coach Billups, and you heard it, the F word, focus, focus. They lacked a little focus in this one. That's not what he likes. He likes. But again, it wasn't all bad. There was some good in this one. We're going to highlight it right now. It is time to hand out a game ball. Well, I think we can hand out 2 game balls tonight because I feel like there was 2 Blazers who showed up focused and ready to go. And that was Deni Avdija and Toumani Camara. They were 2 best Blazers on the floor tonight. Toumani Camara was incredible defensively. Deni Avdija was incredible pushing the tempo and doing what he needed to do. In fact, after that first quarter, I thought they did a good job doing what we talked about pregame about getting the Lakers off their game a little bit by forcing the tempo and then pushing defensively, right? So they did what they needed to do. It's unfortunate that they didn't get the win, but I do like the fact that Toumani and Deni just kept doing Toumani and Deni things. They've been doing it all year long, and you absolutely love to see it. You love to see it. So, all right, I hear that Victor in Turkey is on line 1. Victor, welcome in to the 5th quarter. What you got for us tonight?
Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for your for the opportunity and time. Well, I want to say that it's hard to believe that the Hornets beat the Lakers last night on their own home floor. That's one consideration. The other one you said about the referee that I saw a few times myself in the beginning, actually in the game, that the referee didn't call the foul on the Lakers. So what I'm saying, what I want to just give you an example of the politics in the NBA. You see, for example, if the Blazers were playing the Lakers in the finals or in the semifinals, and I don't think anybody in America, even yourself, you could believe that the referee is going to come and say, well, the Blazers is going to win the last few minutes. They don't call the foul on Blazers because LeBron James and Jokic or something, they're playing on this LA team. So that's the politics. The last thing I want to say to you, because as an outsider or the foreigners like myself, in overseas, we believe the Americans, they are very good. I mean, they are the best in many things, like number one. But the 3 things that stand out in America, as all the foreigners, not all the, but in my area, I don't say about Europe or something. They are very good in 3 things. That is politics, money, and the last one is sex. I don't want to say that, but that's 3 things that I have to tell you, and have a good night.
Oh, man, I have no idea what just happened, Victor. Victor's throwing us curveballs, Shacker. But I guess they're good. I guess they're good at those 3 things. It makes sense to me. Oh, my goodness. He's trying to throw me off my game. I think it might have worked. I have no idea what that had to do with basketball tonight. But, hey, you know what? If you're good at it, if you got it, flaunt it, they say. If you got it, flaunt it. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. Blazers once again fall to the Lakers, 110-102. Unfortunate night for the Blazers. Could have been nice to get a win right out of All-Star break, but it just wasn't in the cards tonight. Hopefully on Saturday they look a little better, especially in the first quarter. 15 points tonight, the lowest scoring first quarter of the season for your Portland Trail Blazers. But on Saturday, Charlotte will be in town. It's HBCU to the pros night, so there's going to be some fun marching bands and all that stuff going on. Celebrate the HBCUs, and so if you're going to be at the game, enjoy that. I know marching bands are awesome, says this former marching band member. I won't be here, though. I'm going to be at some swim championships, so I got to take a little night off. So super producer Brendan Slaughter will be filling in. He'll have game day for you starting at 5 o'clock. So make sure you're watching, you're tuning in, you're giving him all the calls. Victor, make sure you give Brendan a call. Throw him some massive curveballs. He needs them. He needs them. Have some fun with it. Once again, Blazers 110, your Trailblazers 102. Riff City, you guys have been awesome as always. Win or lose, we ride together here on the fifth quarter, and we'll talk to you on the next one.